Today we are meeting for Preschool Diaries and would like to give you a glimpse about the Preschool Diaries. Preschool Diary is a discussion run by teeny beans on topics relevant for preschool owners. It ranges from uncovering the hard work put behind the preschool success by the founding team to the trials and tribulations they faced on the various aspects of preschool setup and administration. The goal of this session would be to learn the success mantras of a successful preschool owner to try and replicate the experiences when opening a new preschool. So today in our discussion, myself, Ratna Raut, Head Business Development, Teeny Beans is present. We have with us Mr. Nilanko Ghosh, Product Manager, Teeny Beans, and we have our partner, Mr. Nirmal Singh. He is the owner of Dakshya International Preschool, Dhangadhi, Nepal, and very recently he has started a preschool and in association with Teeny Beans. So we would like to hear from him. Sir, tell us something about yourself.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir. And I'd like to thank the entire team of Skinny Beans once again for having me here and allowing me to speak some words. So, I'm Nirmal Singh from Dhangadhi, Nepal. I'm an educator and an entrepreneur. I started teaching from the age of 20, and it's nearly been around 13 years into this profession. This journey was not easy for me. At times, I used to think about the financial benefits, whether I'll be financially benefited from teaching or not, and those are the things that mostly comes to a young person's mind when it comes into the sector of teaching. So, luckily, I was quite favorable in that part, and then the situation was also favorable, and I completed my CELTA in 2015, and that changed my thinking, even my attitude towards teaching as well. Talking about Dakshya is a progressive school with its first exposure in Dhangadhi, an emerging city in southwest Nepal. Currently, we're running classes till grade 1, and we'll be adding on classes every year. The school covers nearly the area of 18,225 square feet. Uh, that's awesome.
That's good. So over to you, Nilanko.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Singh, we would like to first understand means what encouraged you to start the preschool? Means what encouraged you to come to this business? Means why you choose the preschool
Okay.
as a business?
Uh, Thank you for asking that question because I've been answering this question to many people around. So, since my childhood, I was staying with my uncle and aunt. My uncle is a university professor, and he has always been my inspiration. Besides that, he was handling his own school and college in Kathmandu.
Okay,
So I got an opportunity to look after his school from an early age as well. That's where my teaching career began. After I started teaching, I kept on improving my skills and also had an affection towards this profession. I also believe that teaching the youngsters today will make them capable and will be dedicated towards right path. And after being involved in this sector for so long, I thought, why can't I operate a preschool for myself? And that's where the dream of starting a preschool, starting a school started.
okay. So creating a base, right, for the student, right, my schools, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did the planning of the this preschool started? Means we would like to understand means how this journey started of the preschool started.
Okay, so
Like
I was in
how
Kathmandu.
how long you are planning to
Uh,
start the preschool or like that?
okay, so nearly it's been around 4 to 5 years that I've started researching about it and trying to figure out locations, trying to build up a team which could go uh, according to my thinking and according to my guided rules. So I nearly spent around 4 to 5 years searching for locations and talking to teams. Finally, I chose Zangari as it is an emerging city and also the center for all the districts of Far West. Far West, they nearly have 9 districts. They have 9 districts, and Dhangadhi is the center for all those 9 districts, and it's a major emerging city as well. At first, was having a conversation with some other preschool service providers as well. But as I was also working with some of the preschools in Kathmandu, and I was not quite satisfied with the franchise fee and the royalty fee that they charged upon the new starters and all. And one day, as I was going through Facebook and all, I saw Teeny Beans pop-up advertisement, and then I clicked on it, and then I got to know about that it's no royalty, no franchise kind of service that Teeny Beans is providing. And the first thing that attracted me about Teeny Beans was the EYFS curriculum, and the other main part was that there was no royalty in it. And I thought that is the preschool that I would like to set up, and that's how I came across Teeny Beans, and that's how my planning started becoming an action.
So, Mr. Singh, over here, we can understand that it has been a long journey for you to plan your preschool and school in Dhangadhi.
Hmm.
So, it was a quite a long journey, 4 years to 5 years of research, working with the different companies, knowing their pedagogy, knowing their business model, and then finally selecting one. So, we are lucky enough that you have chose Philippines to be your partner in this journey. So, how long you have taken to decide on teeny beans? From the first day you click on the ad to getting finalized on teeny beans, how was that journey? If you can describe.
Uh, I think it took nearly 7 to 8 months, I guess, because I was talking to somebody else from Teeny Beans, and then I came to know that I was still sending the text to the person through WhatsApp, and I came to know that the person whom I was talking to has already left Teeny Beans, and then I was guided towards Ratna ma'am, I guess. She was there collaborating and all those things. So it took nearly 8 months, I guess, for finalizing that we should work with Finibin, reviewing the curriculum, and then going through all the materials that we need, and finalizing a location and each and everything. It took us nearly 7 to 8 months to finalize all those things. And even I started talking with some of the curriculum partners that I have here in Nepal. I have some of my friends still working with some schools, and then after I was sure that I was going to establish Tinibin, then I shared the curriculum with them as well, and they also gave me some suggestions and proper feedback regarding it. So it was around 7 to 8 months that it obviously takes a long time to decide actually.
Yeah. So you have
Even
done.
even
Yes,
even if
yes, sir.
even if I'm convinced about the curriculum that preschool Tinibins is providing, my partner, the team members, they need to be clarified about whether it's good or not, and whether it's feasible for the students here in Nepal or not. So it actually took a long time convincing them as well.
Okay. So coming back to your point itself, how did you verify the earlier foundation stage curriculum? So, as you were
I went
convinced with
to.
this, whom you like meet with in Nepal? Is there any body, governing body, or education organization where you got the curriculum
Hmm.
approved for your partners?
Actually, I was a trainer as well while I was in Kathmandu. So teacher training was there, and after I completed my CERTA, I got an opportunity to train the government officers for nearly 2 months, like two batches. I've trained some of them, and some of them are in the education sectors, posted in the education sectors. Some of their posting has been into different other sectors. So to those, I talked with those who were involved in the education sector. I said that this is the curriculum. Can you please update me about this? And they were also not sure because they never had heard of EYFS curriculum before. So the main point was for me myself searching the internet, googling everything around, and then figuring out that okay, this is the curriculum and this is what it's happening. And then I also have a friend in Ireland who is a teacher himself, and in his school also the UFS curriculum is applied. So thanks to my friend in Ireland that he guided me through all those things. And after finally I was convinced, and now here we are starting a preschool.
Okay. So before embarking the journey, the authentications has come from different places. So India,
Yeah, different
Nepal,
places.
Google, and Ireland, and then finally the teeny beans happened.
Yeah.
How was your support? What kind of support you have got from Teeny Beans? If you say that you are a new to the school, though you have an experience of 12 to 13 years, how Teeny Beans as an organization, as a team, as a consultancy services has helped you to set up the whole school from scratch to inauguration?
Uh, Philippines, they have been very supportive in terms of designing and all those things regarding the content for the websites and all. And not only that, regarding the classroom management and main overall regarding the teacher selection also, I had a conversation with them and they were ready to finalize the teachers. But because of the pandemic, the things didn't go well as planned. But Philippines, they have been very, very supportive, and those new people who would like to work with Philippines, they will really find Philippines very amazing because their service, the response. Actually, I talk about the response that Philippines they do provide us instant responses to WhatsApp and other different medias, so that we'll be like we are actually up to date with whatever is happening, and then Philippines also know that this is happening with the preschool that is not even in their country. So the Philippines they have been really very supportive for that.
So, in the discussion, so you were harping on the one thing that is location. Means very often we hear that the success of a preschool depends on three factors, that is location, location, and location. So, we would like to know your thoughts. Means how did you choose the location, Dhangadhi, and the things that came in your mind as Dhangadhi you said. So how did you
Okay.
decided means that just yes I should open my preschool at Dhangadhi only, not on I would not focus on the other locations.
Okay. So location is a must for any business, not only for school. Even if you are opening a small stationery shop, you
Right.
would obviously search a place where the schools are around. And if you are opening a mart, a big mart, then you'll think about the population of that area. So for us, Dhangadhi was the prime location because it is the center for the 9 districts, the major center, let's say the capital, and not only that, the population is emerging day by day because of the various services that are starting here again every day. New franchise, new businesses are being established, being built, and moreover, uh, a progressive school was what I was looking for. So my school would be a progressive school. And in Dhangadhi, around the location where we thought of starting a preschool, there is no any such preschool with international curriculum. So we are the first of our own kind
Okay.
in Dhangadhi. So that is giving us an exposure in the local market as well, and it's like creating Teeny Beans further is creating a brand for us with this curriculum.
So while opening this preschool, so obviously there were some challenges. So what was the big challenge that you have faced while opening this preschool?
The biggest challenge was to convince myself at first that whether I should leave Kathmandu and come to Dhangadhi or not. That was the biggest challenge.
Okay.
So, besides that, there were several challenges like choosing the best curriculum was a challenge, location was a challenge, setting the fee standards was a challenge, and choosing the best service provider was another great challenge for us. So, as I said earlier, how I came across Tenny Beans and how I convinced my friends and the team members to start a preschool. So, those were all challenges, and those challenges took nearly around a year. And then finally, personally speaking, that finding a teacher was the biggest challenge in Dhangadhi because as I was working in Kathmandu, there were sufficient human resources with good communication abilities and then good personality. But here, when I was here in Dhangadhi and I was searching for teachers around, that was the biggest challenge. We did an advertisement campaign through Facebook and we nearly got 178 applicants. But out of those 178 applicants, I was not able to select one also from those.
Oh my God.
So
So
that was the biggest challenge.
it has been a
And then
biggest
after
challenge.
I talked with some of the schools around, and then I met some teachers who were already here in Dhangadhi. Those teachers who already have like their name around. And then I asked them. Then I went to Montessori Training Institute. I started searching for teachers, whether there were some teachers who have recently completed the training and not. And that's how I was able to finally select some of the teachers. And so that was also a very big challenge for me. And adopting the new curriculum is also a challenge, and teaching the person who does not even know about the EYFS curriculum, teaching them and training them about the curriculum and asking them to implement the curriculum into the classroom. That is a challenge, and that challenge will be still a very long challenge for me in the days to come.
Yeah. Once you are implementing the curriculum in the physical classes, that is one of the biggest challenge because you can have the best of the curriculum, but if it is not implemented in a very well manner,
Mm.
and it is if it's not going to the children, then we will not get the essence of the EYFS curriculum. So that is
Yeah,
really, and definitely we hope your teacher, your team will do it very well.
I hope so.
Yeah. So we would like to understand, like starting a preschool requires a lot of investment from buying teaching aids, learning equipment, child-friendly furnitures, then putting a whole lot, a thought behind the general ambience of the school. So, what would be a suggestion for a new preschool owner who are liking to invest in a school infrastructure? So, if you would like to guide.
Okay. So, if you are willing to invest in a preschool, the first thing you need to remember is that you are about to start a social business where first comes service and only after you seek for financial advantages. Now, for preschool owners who would like to start a preschool, I would like to tell them that you should create such an ambience where not only children but also the visitors who visit the school feel likely to stay inside the school. Like there are many ways to do that. You can surf the internet and look for varieties of options related to furniture and child-friendly teaching equipment. And the other thing is should be able to select the right education partner, like Teeny Beans, where you'll be guided in each and every step, whether it's academic or administrative, and they are always there to guide you. So proper selection of education partner is a must, and creating an ambience is the must.
Right.
That's what I would like to suggest for a person who would like to start and invest in preschool infrastructure.
So we can understand over here a welcoming ambience where people feel comfortable, the kids feel comfortable to stay around is one of the most important part of a
Mm.
preschool.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, sir, as opposed by many preschool owners that means who choose to start preschool from franchisee model, but you opted to seek teeny beans support for setting your own preschool brand. So, what was the thinking behind setting up your own brand and opting out from for a non-franchisee solution?
Okay. So Teeny Beans is a non-franchisee preschool solution. That's one reason behind its selection. As many other preschool service providers that do not give us an opportunity to create our own brand, Teeny Beans does. Because here we are operating as Dakshya International School, and with academic coordination with Teeny Beans is a part. So building our own brand is beneficial for us in the long run, as we're not only targeting preschool education but also high level education in the long run. So it's also a matter of pride for preschool owners to operate their own brand as well. Moreover, like it's economical because we do not have to spend a huge amount of money in the name of franchise fee and royalty. So that's the reason why we chose a non-franchise solution for that.
So, sir, generally, the way of so we would like to understand means what did the social media played the role of social media in your brand awareness means how did you plan the social media and how you did the brand awareness in your local community through social media?
So social media these days, I think no one is out of its contact. Like no one is against the social media, or let's say I couldn't exactly get a word, but let's say that the whole world is in touch with the people around because of social media.
Right.
So everyone is very much aware of social media these days. We're still taking it as a major source of marketing tool for us. For us here in Dhangadhi, we had no other options because the normal daily newspapers they were not available on time. So there was many other reasons why we had to choose social media for marketing. We also created a Facebook page and posted our pictures and other materials, and sometimes made videos and boosted it as well. That helped us a lot in brand creation and recognition. So Dhangadhi is a city that's flourishing, and there are not many other media resources which can reach every nooks and corners. Therefore, social media has been a major marketing aspect for us.
Right, sir. You're absolutely right, sir. Plus the internet penetration, it is also bringing more users to the social media, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, you have used very well as we were discussing that you have used getting the teachers through the social media campaign. So that was also a very good manner of using the social media. So, sir, when choosing a teacher means what qualities you are looking for selecting a teacher means this quality there should be some parameters for a teacher selection. So, you will let me understand.
Okay, so selecting a teacher for a preschool is quite challenging because the person who is applying for being a teacher needs to be of a pleasant character, and then should be able to handle the child in each and every situation. There are people, there are teachers I've seen who easily gets irritated when a child starts crying. So that's not going to happen in a preschool because even if the child is crying, you have to be able to make the child happy and like take him away from the things that are disturbing him or distracting him. So very much loving kind of character should be there, loving and caring character in a teacher, and not only that, of a pleasant personality, a good speaker, I must say, and should be able to command in a loving way. Because we're not running secondary classes, we're running preschool classes.
Right,
So command should be there, but the command should be there in a very loving way. So those are the qualities, and most of all, educational qualities should be there. And we after that we even look for the trainings the teachers they have taken and the trainings that they have completed.
so, sir, coming back to the marketing part, so, sir, it's often said that word of mouth is a very powerful strategy when it comes to the preschool owners. So, we would like to understand means how did you leverage the word of mouth?
So I 100% agree on this because word of mouth is a very powerful marketing tool for schools, preschools. People are likely to get their child admitted in school if their neighbors or someone else tells them about the school. We normally, even when I'm trying to admit my child in a school, it's obvious that I'll go and look around the school, look at its infrastructure, look at its building, the classrooms, and all. So those are all the material things that I'm looking after. But if I really would like to understand about whether the school is really productive in the sense of curriculum it's providing, then the first person I would be asking will be the person whose child is already studying there in the school. How they are looking after the child, how are the assignments given, how are the assignments being judged or corrected, and all those things. So word of mouth is a very powerful marketing strategy for preschool owners. And of course, preschools, I think there is no other such great tool than this.
Right, sir. So, sir, right now, currently, as we know, there's a pandemic going on. So, starting a business during means in between of the pandemic. So, yes, there were challenges So we would like to understand at what stage your school was set up during the global pandemic, and how did you navigate the first few months?
Okay, so I was in Kathmandu during that time, and then I was having a conversation with my team, and those team members were here in Dhangadhi. So as the flights were all closed, I was not able to come to Dhangadhi in the first call. So what we did was my friends they started selecting the areas, and then I was the one who was watching the videos and figuring out whether this is a good location or not and all those things. So the pandemic it gave us a trouble at the beginning, and then we found a place, and then we started construction in between the pandemic itself. So it was quite a hassle to collect the materials, but we somehow managed to do that. And after the first wave of the pandemic was over, we thought of starting the classes and getting the admissions. But no sooner we thought about it, the second wave was there, and then we were forced to shut down again. So we were closed, but we still had to pay the rent and the salary to some of the staffs. The teachers they were not here, but the security staff and a cleaner
Hmm.
used to come. So two or three person were there, and so we had to pay them, and we had to pay the rent as well. But we didn't lose hope, and finally now we are operating physically, and it's nearly been a month,
Wow,
and
that's
we are
great.
happy that.
So, sir,
And we currently nearly have around. Uh, sorry, we nearly have around 18 students now. So after this the same festival, there's some more to join.
so how are you moving towards the physical classes? Means what additional steps or you have taken some additional step to keep your school prepared for physical classes to commence. So, we would like to
Okay.
understand
So
what steps you have taken.
currently we're running in the third week of the physical classes, and things are going pretty well. But during the second week, most of the children they were like coughing, and they had some fever. Some of them had fever, and they were resting at home. And we were not sure about what was happening, but we were like sanitizing the classes every day. The masks they were provided to the students and other staff as well. Temperature was measured every day, and all the staff they have completely been vaccinated already. The vehicles are sanitized, and most of all, we are in daily contact with the guardians and are frequently asking them about their child's health. And even some of the students are absent today. We got to know that it's a general flu kind of thing that the climate change
Hmm.
brings with it. So there's nothing more to worry about. And some days back, we had a health campaign for the children as well. We called in a doctor and a nurse, and then we had their tests and other things run.
Health
So
checkup has been done for them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay.
how is we are getting parents' participation means how the parents are participating in this times.
Parents are positive towards us. This Saturday, the previous Saturday, we held a PTM, and then we asked the guardians for the feedback regarding the school, because we were new, and the parents they believed in us, and then they sent their child to study in our school. So we asked for the feedback, and they were all very positive and supportive. And even some parents they work in hospital, and so that's how we were able to connect a health camp for the students as well.
Okay.
So they have been really supportive for that.
So, to summarize it, we can have like the parents are very cooperative and they are cooperating with the school administration process. So,
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here, Mr. Singh would like to understand from your point of view during the pandemic when you started the school or you are planning to start the school, launch the school. So, have you thought of starting the online classes? Have you discussed with Tinivins regarding that? And what kind of support you got from Tinivins to start your school during the pandemic?
Okay, to start the school during the pandemic, or like, so are we talking about the online classes during the pandemic time, or like? the physical
Yeah, the
school.
online classes suggestions as well as running the offline classes like
Okay.
a consent letter from the parents, do's and don'ts during the pandemic. So has your team Tinivins has helped you in that?
Yeah, actually, we thought of starting during the pandemic. We thought of starting online classes, but most of the guardians they were very much clear into it, and they said that the child is too young to be sitting in front of a laptop or like holding a cell phone and then reading and all. So we agreed to that, and then we frequently I was having a conversation with Teenagers about how do we start the online classes, what are the things Teenagers could help us in that. So Teenagers they were very supportive and they sent us some materials to be used or to be sent for the children through email and all. And they have sent us some materials to be sent to students. And not only that, they have this app, and then they will soon be launching the app as well for online learning solution. So that would be the best one, I guess. And yes, Tinibins they have helped us a lot, and asking for suggestion and asking for how can the classes be made fruitful. They have given us better solutions to it as well.
Okay.
Right. So just coming to the discussion, so we would like to understand means you have opened a school, so we would like to understand what would be your vision for Dakshya International.
Our vision is to be one of the best schools in Dhangadhi and regulate many such preschool branches under the same name and partnership with Tenebin. We aim to become a top pioneer in preschool education in the area where we are working right now.
Yeah.
So you are planning to start multiple preschools also under the aegis of Dakshya?
Yes, yeah. Under the with the collaboration of Tenebin and under the same name.
That will
Okay.
be great.
So you're great.
So, sir, also, sir, what would be your advice for the new entrepreneurs who would be planning to start a new the preschool in 2022? So, if you have some advice to let me know.
Okay, so the major advice would be like be sure to choose a proper partner at first. Like I would recommend Tenny for those who are thinking of starting a preschool. And the next thing is plan before you invest, because once you have the detailed plan with you, you can move on accordingly. And create a financial expenditure list at first, and then minimize the cost. Because while we were setting up a school, minimizing the cost was the least thing that we could do, and be prepared about what could go wrong after you start the classes, and be ready for all the possible outcomes, like for example the pandemic we can say, and there could be some other things that could go wrong at times as well. So you have to be sure and be prepared for all those things. And the major thing is select proper teachers and who can understand the curriculum and execute the curriculum in a most best possible way they can. So that would be my advice.
That's good. That's a very practical advice which you have given for the entrepreneurs who are planning to start their preschool in the coming future. So these are the most relevant points which they should look into. So plan for the future and having a proper plan chalk out to run the business and having a great partner is always one of the most important aspect for starting any business.
Right, right.
Yes.
So, sir, it was great to talking with you. So we understand a lot of things, means how to the challenges which you faced during the things, the things we got the input means how to select a teacher, that then the way means how a new owner means if someone is planning to start a preschool, how they should get into the business. So it was a very insightful discussion, and we got many good points which we can tell and the new entrepreneurs who would be coming to the business. So it was great to have you with us in a session, and great to have you as a partner also. and we would wish you the best for your school, and we would obviously provide you the best from our part. And also we are coming with as discussed, we are coming with the new solutions for preschool owners. Definitely, if you can guide regarding
Yeah, yeah, sure, definitely. So, as Nilanko was sharing, we are coming up with Buzz app, which will help the preschool owners in a multiple ways, from admission management to the it will be help as a parent app, a teacher app, education management, and the most important point we discussed during our discussion was the word of mouth. So everybody says a preschool success is based on word of mouth. But how to measure that word of mouth? How I'll know that whose word of mouth is helping me? Who is that person? So now the Buzz app will come up with such a feature that where you will be able to measure that also. What is the word of mouth? So if a parent is giving reference, what it is like, it's from his circle, how it is associated with the other one. So Buzz app will have multiple features. It will be absolutely free for the partners with some premium features also. And it's going to help not only the teeny beans partner, it's going to help the preschool owners and the teachers and parents in a large way. So hope that will too will be very successful with you all. And yes, as Nilanko said, that it was great to have you on board today for this insightful discussion. And we are looking forward to have such discussions in future also, where we will be getting some other informations from you while you are running the physical classes successfully, how it has been, and then multiple branches of Dakshya International in the near future. So all the best for that, and thank you very much.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am.
thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Nilanko.